Hello everyone, myself Purushotham, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, MLR. In this session, I am going to explain about database CRUD operations. So directly I will explain this topic programmatically. So let's jump into what the IDE. So in last class I already explained how to connect a Java application to the database. Okay, so once again I will explain the same points. Here first of all I am using my IDE here. Now the first step, we need to load the driver into IDE. Okay, so to load the driver into IDE, so first step you need to go to the file and here you can find what the project structure option and click on the project structure. In project structure we need to select the modules option. Okay, so you need to select the modules option. After that in modules you can find three options: source, paths and dependencies. So we need to select the dependencies. In dependencies, what we need to select means here you can see the plus symbol, that is a add symbol. So click on it. So it will prompt 1, 2, 3 message, like 1 means a jar file. So we are uploading our driver as a jar file. So click on the first option. Now my driver is there on desktop. So just navigate to the desktop. Now the first option is a home. The second option is a desktop. You can see the second option is the desktop. I am selecting the second option. Now you can see MySQL-connector J-8.3.0.jar extension. So make sure your file name, your connector name must be extends with jar extension. So here I am extending and click on OK. And so make sure the compulsory you need to click on apply and after that you need to click on OK. That's it. Your driver is ready. Now you can use your driver. Okay, so this is from the IDE part. And in database part, in last class I already explained your database mode by default it will be the administration mode. So we need to select toward the schemas mode. So here I am selecting the schemas mode, and here I have 3 databases like MLR IT, MyDB and SysDB. Okay, so here I want to use MLR IT. So here I am using the command use MLR IT database. Now I am clicking run button. Okay, so that you can see here now MLR IT database is highlighted. So I am now in this session I am going to use only MLR IT database. So MLR IT database is highlighted. Okay, now so to work with the database here in IDE, the first step we need to create the database. Inside the database we need to create the table. Okay, now how to create that table means either you can write the query or else you can use table folder. Here you can see inside database you can find the table folder. So just select your table folder, right click on it and it will ask you to create a table. So select the first option. So here I am creating the table name is a student. So here I am creating the table name is a student, and the table fields now we need to enter. So here I will enter the table fields. So here I am entering the first field is ID and ID is an integer type and I am making it as a primary key. If you want you can mention the primary key. So here I am going with the primary key and I do not want to store any other value. So it becomes the not null. So NN means not null. Next I will take the second field. Second field is a name. So name is a string type, means a var character in database terminology. So varchar. Next field here I will take name. Next email I will take, and email also I will take the varchar type only. Next email, next mobile number. Here I am taking the 4 fields only, the 4 or 40 no matter. So how many fields you want you can take, no problem. Here I am going with only 4 fields. Now the 4 fields entered means here you can find apply button. So just click on apply button. Here I am clicking and click on apply. That's it, your table will be ready. Okay, so if you want to check whether the table is created or not, if you want to check, so just write the query like select star from table. The table name is a student. So here I am entering the table name is a student. Now the run your query. Here I am running my query. Now you can find your table. You can see this one. This is your table. Now you can see. So this is my table. The table fields you can see here. The first one is ID. Next one is a name. Next one is email. Next one is a mobile number. Okay. Now the table is ready. Now, so go back to IDE. Now I want to perform the database operations through Java application. So that's my intention. For that, first of all, we need to connect the database. Okay, to establish the connection. So as we know that the first step, as per the database connections, the first step we need to follow, that is what the class dot for name. So here I am passing the class dot for name. In class dot for name, we need to pass driver name with a fully qualified name. The fully qualified name means com dot, so mysql dot cj dot the driver. Okay, sorry, cj dot jdbc dot driver. Okay, so this is my driver. So as I mentioned, whenever you are using the for loop, so it will generate the exception. Okay, what the exception means, class not found exception. So if you are using this line in your program, so compulsory you need to handle by either using the try catch or you can use the throws keyword. So I will just bypass the exception. I am not handling exception, just I am bypassing the exception. So here I am passing what the class not found exception. That's it. Now I want to establish the connection. So to establish the connection, so driver manager is the responsible. So in driver manager, we need to pass the method. We need to call the method the get connection. The get connection method, if you want, you can pass one parameter, or if you want, you can pass 3 parameters. Means my database is having username and password also. So here I need to pass what the 3 parameters. 3 parameters I am passing. So the first parameter is what the database URL. Okay, so here I will write what mysql colon. So JDBC. So JDBC colon mysql colon. So localhost 3306, that's my port number. 3306 is the port number, and after this we need to pass your database name. In my case, database name is MLR. In your case, your database name may be different, so that particular database we need to pass here. So the database is URL is passed, and the second parameter is username. So here I am passing the username is a root, and the password also, in my case it is a root only, so I am passing password also root. Okay, the first parameter, again I am telling you, the first parameter username and password is third parameter is a password, and password also, username and password in my case both are same, so that's why I am passing the root by root. So this get connection method will be return the connection object. So here I am holding in connection reference, that's it. But if you are using the get connection method, now what will happen means, here externally one source is connected to your program. So here if you are using this get connection method, means you are establishing the connection, you are connecting MySQL application to the database. Means one external resource, one sensitive resource is connected to your program. So if any sensitive resource is connected to your program, so it will throw what the checked exception. Okay, exception name can be anything, like here in my case it is generating what SQL exception. Okay, so SQL is a checked exception, so compulsory we need to handle by using what try catch, or you can use a throws keyword. So here I will use the throws keyword, and already throws keyword I am using, and just pass SQL exception, just separating with a comma. You can pass any number of exception, you can bypass just by separating with a comma. So throws keyword we need to use only one time. Okay, so SQL exception. Now the connection is a successful, so connection con variable is not null. Okay, so based on this condition, so if con is not null, okay, if connection is unsuccessful, the con return what null value. Okay, so here system.out.println, so connection success. Connection success. If not, connection fail. So here I am writing the connection fail. That's it. So once you run your program, now you can see the connection is successful. Okay, now you can write the query, whatever the query you want you can write, no problem. So everything will be executed. Okay, now my intention is I want to insert some data in my database. Okay, so to insert some data in my database, so I need to write the query first. So here I am writing the query. The first query is a insert query. So the query I'm passing. So query you need to pass in the string format, insert into, my table name is a student, so here I'm calling what the student, okay, insert into student values, and we need to pass the 4 values here. Why means you created what the table name, like first field is ID, second field is a name, next one is a mobile number and email and mobile number. So first field is here I'm passing what I means 1. So the 1 is an integer type, so no need to enclose it within single quotes, but the remaining 3 are what varchar type, means a string type, so compulsory you need to enclose within single quotes, okay. So here the name I will pass Ram, next one mobile number, sorry I think it's a Gmail email, so gmail.com, next one mobile number, so here I will enter some mobile number, so here I am entering some mobile number, that's it. Now if you observe here the first parameter is an integer parameter, okay, ID is an integer, so don't enclose with a single quotes, but the remaining 3 are the varchar type, okay. While creating what the table itself, we mentioned what name and email and mobile number as a varchar, so compulsory make sure that you must be enclosed with a single quotes, okay, otherwise it will throw the error, okay. Next, the query is ready. Now this query we need to execute, okay. So to execute this query, the first of all we need to prepare the statement, okay. So con dot we need to call the prepared statement method. So the prepared statement method will be expecting what the query, so query I am passing as an argument. Now whenever you are using the prepared statement, and the prepared statement also leads what exception, SQL exception is already handled here, okay, no need to use. But if you are calling any other method, that particular method is responsible, so compulsory we need to handle, okay. So here in my case it's already handled. Now this prepared method will be return what the prepared statement, so I will hold in the prepared statement st, okay. Now the prepared statement is ready, means this equivalent Java statement we are creating by using the prepared statement. The prepared statement is ready. Now in prepared statement, okay, we need to pass what, we need to execute this query. Now if you observe here, it is just we are inserting the data, okay, we are inserting data means we are modifying the table, okay, we are inserting something into the database, means into the table. So here which method we need to call, means execute update method we need to call, the 2 methods we need to call actually. So execute query and execute update, so here execute update method we need to call. Now if you observe here, this execute update method is a returning integer value, so you need to hold this value in a variable, that is what n, okay. So n is, it will return what, number of records, okay. System.out.println, so n records are inserted, so here I will write n records are inserted, that's it, done. Now run your program. Now you can see acknowledgement here, 1 records are inserted. Now go back to your server, MySQL server, and once you run your query, see here in my case, so I don't have any data, so I will refresh, just a minute. Now here you can see I am refreshing my data. Now you can see 1 is inserted, ram at gmail.com and 9848 something, one mobile number is inserted, okay. So now insertion is successful. Now go back to what, the table. Now go back to the table. Now if you rerun this program, it will throw the error. You can see here I am rerunning my application, but it is throwing error. The reason here is SQL integrity constraint violation exception, means 1 is a primary key you mentioned, so primary key must be only 1 in the table. So the one, this record already existed, so and again you are trying to inserting this data, so it will throw the error. So here this query will be work only one time, but I want to read this data from the user. Okay, so in such cases what we need to do means here, so slightly I will modify. I will read this data from the user. So scanner, I will create object of the scanner class, scr equals to new scanner system.in scr dot. So here the first, okay, so I will prompt a simple message, enter ID. Now user will enter ID. So here I will hold the data in a variable that is ID. Okay, so ID is ready. Same the way I will call the remaining methods like system.out.println, enter name. Now the next method I am calling string name. Okay, so the remaining fields also same. So I will copy the paste and I will paste. So second field is email. Next I will change to what email. Next change to what mobile number, and I will change to the mobile number. Right, now these three fields I want to insert the dynamically. So what I will do means, so here directly I will write comma 4 question marks, so that the dynamically I will insert this data. Okay, so here before executing this one, so statement dot, now I want to insert set int value. Now here the first position I want to insert this ID. So now what we need to do means, we need to call a statement, prepared statement, st reference is there, st dot set int. Means why we need to call only integer means this ID is an integer type. So I want to set this ID to this query. So you need to compulsory, you need to call what set int method only. So here, and in table structure ID is what index is 1. Okay, so here we need to pass 1. Okay, and you need to pass actual variable that is ID. So this ID here I am passing, means inside a table the 1th index this ID will be replaced dynamically. Now so here automatically it will assign, no issue. Next st dot, the remaining also same, st dot set string. Now this time I am inserting the string method. Okay, I am calling this set string method. Why means the remaining fields are name, email, mobile numbers are string type. So compulsory you need to call what set string only, but the name is a second position. So I am passing what the 2 as an index, parameter index, and I am passing the name, actual name. Next st dot set string, now 3, now email, and last set st dot set string and 4 email and mobile number. That's it, done. Now if you rerun this program, now here I am rerunning. Now so it will ask you to enter ID. Now 1 already inserted, now this time I will take ID is a 2. So name, so Ram is there, now I will insert Sita. Now email is sita@gmail.com. Now the mobile number, so I will give some dummy mobile number. Now hit enter. Now you can see here 1 records are inserted. Okay, now go back to your table. Now the refresh, now you can see the what one more record is inserted. 2, ID is a 2, name is a Sita, and email sita@gmail and mobile number. Okay, now this is what insert operation. Okay, now this insert operation I want to write it in separate method. Okay, so to write it in separate method, so I want to call this insert method the multiple times. Okay, in such cases wherever the multiple methods means multiple times if you want to call this code, so just create a method. So public static void, I will call the method is a insert method. Now this insert method, I just copied the same code and I'm pasting here. Now if you observe the code here, you can see the con reference. Now here we are facing the problem. Why? Means this con is declared inside a main method. Inside main method means local to this main method. Outside of the main method you cannot access, but I want to access this information, this connection information I want to access outside of the main method. Now what we need to do, so here I have a plan, like, so I will create a connection reference as an instance variable and I will remove here. But even though if you are writing like this also, you may face a problem. Why? Means it's an instance variable and main method is a static area. Okay, not possible. You cannot access what instance members inside a static variable. So what we need to do means just make it as a static. Okay, so that is the idea. Now here connection, now I am making it as a static so that you can access anywhere. Now here I am accessing this con variable, no problem. But here you are using the prepared statement in insert method. Now means the prepared statement will leads what? SQL exception. Whenever you are using the prepared statement, SQL exception may be triggered. You can see here the documentation java.sql exception. So means the prepared statement may lead what? SQL exception. So you need to either handle by using a try catch. You can also use what? Throws keyword. It's up to you. So here again I will use a throws keyword and SQL exception. That's it. Okay, again I am telling you, so if you are using throws keyword, you are not handling exception, just you are bypassing the exception. That's it. Now one method is ready, insert method is ready. Okay, so next we will see what read operation. Okay,